Hey, hi, Paul Sakis, Good News Planet. Look at this. Actually, I'm with one of my closest friends, I will feel, and a guru for me. He's written a book called the Mindfulness Experience: 8 Strategies to Live Life Now. Keith Fiveson. Hey, Keith, how are you?
I'm really good, Paul, and I'm very excited to be here with you. And thank you for wanting to do this with me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, Keith, you're such a comfortable gentleman and a mindful gentleman that I can keep the book like this, and I can read on the back of the book written with clarity and a passion earned through his own journey. Fiveson's book offers an integrated approach that can help anyone on a journey of self-discovery, which I believe we all are, whether we know it or not. Alan Salkin, reporter for the New York Times, Vanity Fair, and Los Angeles Magazine. This book is a winner. Keith is a winner. I know Keith over maybe, I don't know, 15 or so years. He inspired me to become an interfaith minister. And he is a man who is solid as a rock. And if he's not ashamed to say, I don't know. But the thing is that I love this guy. So he's written a book. This book, at the end of each chapter, how do you rate yourself? This is a manual for life, and it doesn't stop. It's just you read this book, put time in, work this book. I'm going to say work. Why did you write this book? Let's get to it.
I really wanted to give back. I mean, the fact of the matter is I've been very, very fortunate in my life. And I really wanted to write something or put something out into the world that could hopefully change some lives and influence people with a framework that could help them live life now. So the heading of the book is to find balance in an unbalanced world. At 17, Paul, I left home and I joined the Army at 19. And the framework and the discipline that I learned in the military really helped me deal with a lot of challenges and really helped me change my life. So, many of the clients I deal with today, I've been in the corporate world. I've been an early internet pioneer and telco pioneer, and got involved in breathing and yoga and meditation. And when I retired from Price Waterhouse in 2016, I became a coach. I wound up using the skills and the training that I got at Price Waterhouse and earlier than that. So today, many of my clients are dealing with stress, they're dealing with traumas, they're dealing with issues, and it was really my hope that I could put something into their hands that would help them. And I outlined a lot of principles that would help them in their lives. And that's basically the framework of the book. There's a model that really helps them look at each area of their life so that they could live life in balance from the inside out and the outside in. And today there are so many things that are pulling at us from the outside in.
Oh, this is for sure. Keith, I will say and this is just perfect. I have like a halo on my head. I have this halo on my head because I'm in my bedroom and the light is coming in through the one of the windows. But it's about you. This halo got here because of you, Keith. Because what you have a skill and an internal mechanism that makes you think about others. And when you sit down and you speak with Keith, you're actually he's thinking about you. He's not a conceited dude. He's a guy who loves to hear about someone else and share a perspective without saying do this, do that. Around it, you have a certain gift uh, of I guess relationships. On the relationships are important to you.
They're very extremely important to me. I would go even further to say that the the depth of the relationship is really important. And I think so many of us are not willing to go deep because of the stress or the trauma or the fear and the uncertainty that we have. And, this book has a whole chapter on relationships.
This book has a whole chapter on 8 powerful ways of existing, I'm going to call it. All right, 8 strategies for living life now. I love the now aspiration on the top here. Well, tell us about this chart in the book.
Sure. Well, it's interesting. It's sort of a mandala, a framework for living life. And in the center of the framework, you'll see that there is inspiration. And also on the outside of the framework, you'll see there's the term aspiration. So, it uses the term spire, S-P-I-R-E, which is the essence of breath. It's the root word, the Latin root word for breath. So we find that word in inspiration, in aspiration, in perspiration, in respiration, even in expiration when we see that we've lost our last breath. So it's really around how do we balance our lives from the inside out. So from the inside out, there's the mind, there's the body, there's the spirit, there's the energy or the fuel, what I call the fuel. There's a chapter on fuel. There's also this area of recharging, which is really about rest and really recharging our batteries, if you will. And then once we're able to do that, and we use the breath throughout the book as a focal point, once we're able to do that, we're able to really start to connect with the outside world, the things that are really how do we breathe life into the world through our relationships, through our environment, through our aspirations, through the things that we want to bring into the world. So every chapter focuses in on one of those areas and how we use the breath and how we breathe life into our lives from the inside out, the outside in, therein finding balance in what is otherwise an unbalanced world.
You're also a yogi, and here's my boy Keith, and so and I'm a yogi too, and pranayama, I think is the word they call for the yogi, which is I learned, I guess, through Claire Diab. It was the whole thing about yogi and yoga was the breath. It's not the posture. It's not standing on your head. It's not standing upside down, backwards, forwards. It's about the breath, right? Isn't that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, just to bring it back so that we don't get too woo-woo, there is a basic science to it. Every person has a parasympathetic and a sympathetic nervous system. It's the autonomic nervous system. And what happens is that when we get stressed, we have a cortisol release in the brain, and that really fires up the amygdala, and that really gets our sympathetic nervous system wired and fired. So many people are dealing in high stress environments. We're really wired, if you will, the news, all of the things that are happening around the world, and we can feel a bit like fight or flight, like the world's on fire and we don't know where we stand. So the breath is one of the ways we can hack into that nervous system, and that's the parasympathetic nervous system, and just simply breathing. So breathing life, learning how to breathe. And there's a wonderful book out now that I really recommend to a lot of my clients as well. It's called Breath by James Nestor. It's a #1 New York Times bestseller. And, we start getting into the whole idea of breath on a very, scientific level. So while, yes, yoga teaches pranayama and we talk about yoga and how you can incorporate that, there are other things, working in the garden, taking a walk, just simply sitting down and following your breath. Breathing through your nose, learning how to just notice yourself so you can bring yourself down and bring yourself into the moment, into the now, so that you can really balance yourself and focus on what's important. Your family, your friends, the wonderful food that you're eating, your environment, your relationships, the conversation I'm having with you right now, for example, Paul.
So When I did the Brain series in Channel 13, many 82 in the early 80s, I learned that the stress actually kills you. And the adrenaline, it goes down and it goes into your heart. It clogs your arteries.
Absolutely.
Scientifically, and they can show you with these PET scans and all this kind of thing. So don't stress out. How do you not stress out? What are some of the ways? I mean, you have 8 ways here on how to live life in a happier, solid, more profound way. What would you say in a stressful scenario? What's the first thing you should think on?
Well, the first thing you should think of is where am I and what's happening in my body and where is my breath and where are my thoughts, and also where's my feeling tone, how am I feeling? And what happens often is that we get carried away with our thoughts. Our thoughts really are like wild ponies, and it's hard to get them back into the gate. So just basically managing the breath and coming back to the breath. And also, more importantly, what am I thankful for right now?
Oh, that's great.
What am I thankful for? And I often say, just smile, just a little smile. And that changes everything. It changes the tone. One of the things I like to do when I'm stressed is I like to turn on some music. That's a part of my book as well, learning the feeling tone that happens when you're playing wonderful music. There's a vibrational tone within the body that resonates. There's a resonance. When you're stressed, lighting a candle,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
sure.
bringing in some flowers into your environment. So in each chapter, we really touch on that in the mind, the body, the spirit, the feeling tone, if you will, the fuel, having something wonderful to eat, not just loading up on mac and cheese, although that a lot of people do that, but really like saying, what would make me feel really good right now that would be healthy, and even taking a nap. Yep, lighting a candle. There you go.
Beautiful pictures in here too. And the pictures are like they're Keith's pictures, and they're Keith's pictures of or someone that took that picture of Keith. It's Keith. This really is like going back to was it Ireland? Is it for an ancestry trip? I mean, this is you're like a friend. Read the book. I mean, it's beautiful. Tell me about this because this is really very interesting. I didn't want to fill it out because if I had all my answers in here, people would say, "I don't know about this guy." All right, so at
Is
this
that
point,
the pic? Tell you about the picture or the
oh,
imagery?
no, all right, no. How do you rate yourself? Mind, strength, and focus. Okay, so at the end of each chapter, what do you do at the end of each chapter?
Yeah, so at the end of each chapter is a self-assessment, and the self-assessment is to really get honest with yourself in terms of how you're doing and where you want to be and where the gaps are. So, one of the things that I always talk about is, the idea of to get honest really means sort of like having hindsight, like where have I been, how am I doing, and having the insight to say, I could do better. And then looking at that and then having the foresight to say, oh, okay, here are the things that I need to do in order to get there. So every chapter is a guide to help the individual really take a stock of where they're at, where they've been, where they're at now, and where they want to be, and giving them the tools to go ahead and get there.
How do you rate yourself on a scale of 1 low, 5 high? Where are you? Where do you want to be? Why do you choose this number? What changes could you make to help you get there? Are you a little concerned that, all the therapists and psychiatrists, you might put them out of work with a book like this?
I don't think so, Paul. I think at the end of the day here, we're everyone, regardless of who they are their own therapist. They are the ones that need to do the work. And often, it's just a matter of seeing themselves or seeing ourselves clearly enough and having the courage to make the changes, and the commitment, because the nature of commitment is challenge. So when you have a commitment to something, you're going to be challenged, and then you need the courage to make it through that challenge so that you can make the changes necessary.
It's almost like a serenity prayer.
I like that.
Wow, that's really brilliant. Well, the book is brilliant. Find balance in an unbalanced world. The Mindfulness Experience, 8 Strategies to Live Life Now. Keith, let's just make this part 1 of our conversation, because each chapter should be a TV show, and the whole book should be a movie, just like The Secret type of opportunity, because this is what is really helpful, and helpfulness is a very good kind of way to live our lives and to being that way. Keith, let me ask you one last question, because we did meet at the Peace Day event at the Interfaith Seminary way back when, and you were singing and I was producing the Peace Day, and I'm still involved with the Peace Day, and you're probably still singing, and so and still involved with interfaith and faith and love and peace. So we have our Peace Day event coming up September 21st. I want to ask you, Keith, first of all, is there anything else? Where do we buy the book and what's the website? Let's start with that first.
Sure. Well, the book is available, will drop and be available on September 15th. It'll be on Amazon, Apple, iBooks, Google, Kobo, all of the platforms, including Barnes & Noble, and available in bookstores. And if people want to find out more about me and the book specifically right now, they can also get a personalized copy of it, where I can autograph it if they're interested. And they can do that at the website workmindfulness.com /my book, and workmindfulness.com /my book. And all the details are there, and they can go there for sure.
Oh, beautiful. All right. So I want to ask you one last question. Look at what Keith wrote for me. I'm going to say it if you don't mind, because
Sure.
it means a lot to me. The last person that wrote me like something was Groucho Marx. To Paul, a good news friend, a true real friend, a man with real love, Keith. And that I'm reading it because it means so much to me. It really does. So getting back to our peace mindset, what is peace for Keith Fiveson? What's peace for you?
Peace for me is, really being whole and complete, and feeling that I've lived life as truly and honestly as possible, completely, that there is no stone unturned, if you will, that I could die tomorrow and I would feel at peace. So, the word peace is, in Hebrew, shalom, and I think the word really means fully integrated and whole. And I think that's peace for me.
Wow. Keith Fiveson, thanks so much. Best of luck. The Mindfulness Experience, 8 Strategies to Live Life Now. Find balance in an unbalanced world. Keith, all the best.
Thank you, Paul. Really appreciate the opportunity to see you and be with you.
Thank you.